Hi everybody, today is day 5 of my Mistral Garda restoration. It's actually been quite a few weeks since I did the last video on this because I've been waiting for some parts. What I'm focusing on today is actually the deck surface, because this board is actually made of polyethylene, which means it's kind of slippery and it's an old board, so you know, when I rub my finger on it, especially now I've taken all of the muck that was on it, now I've taken all that off, it feels quite slippery, so I feel like I needed to do something. Plus I've been waiting to get these new foot straps that I had made up. These things are awesome. I had an old one to sort of model them off, and I got a local seamstress to actually make me these new ones, and I've actually got another video just about foot straps and a couple of different ways you can approach getting them done. But today is really about the Garda. You can see I've got it here in front of me, got the straps on it. So I'll be fitting those in a little bit. And then you can also see this, if I move the camera, you can see this tape that I've got here. This particular tape is Harken brand. Harken makes shotting gear. And this is sort of a white, translucent type tape. It feels very rubbery on the surface, and it's Harken's own anti-slip grip deck tape. So the reason I chose this particular one was I wanted something that was light. I didn't want a big, thick sort of deck pad, because especially since I've just spent the last couple of months getting the old stuff off, which were the big old sup deck pads. So I wanted something that was light. I wanted something that was white, so it will kind of blend in with the board. And what I'm going to do today is show you how I put this stuff on, and also attaching the foot straps, which honestly the foot straps are going to be pretty straightforward, I hope. Should be just a case of screwing them in. So let's see how we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay 2 strips of this Harken non-skid tape down each side of the board, and then I'll put the foot straps on at the end. So interestingly enough, I bought the tape in a couple of different sizes, and I bought it from a couple of different places, and it was called white transparent tape. And there was quite a difference between 2 of the types that I got. It was meant to be identical, but in one case the tape was almost white, and in the other case it was actually virtually transparent. So I had this kind of mix of 2 tapes going on, and I didn't want to have that on the board. I wanted to have it all the same. So I bought another lot of the tape, and it turned out to be the white, so that's what we're putting on today. I've got some here that is quite wide. It's 3 inches, so I'm going to put a strip down each side of the board, and then I've got a thinner one which is about 2 inches wide, will go down. The tape's quite expensive. In terms of Australian dollars, you're probably looking at around about $25 a metre, and you know, I'm using about almost 2 meters on each side of the board. So 2 meters, 2 meters, 2 meters, 2 meters, so 8 meters, you can kind of do the math. And the reason, of course, why I'm using the tape instead of other traditional techniques like putting fiberglass or epoxy and doing the sand and all that, is this board is polyethylene. So as I understand, a lot of those other epoxy resins and that type of thing don't stick very well, but this tape, I've had a bit of a play with it and it does stick really well. So before I actually put it down, let me just show you a couple of little things, or point out a couple of little things. First, I wanted to get it straight on the board, so I've used another little thin tape here, and I put little markers down the sort of center line of the board so I can get things straight. The other thing that I've got to do is on the ends of the tape, I want to have some rounded edges. So I've kind of already measured my tape out, so it's going to fit on the board. And I've got this last piece here to do. I've just got 2 pieces together. On this side, it's got the rubber, two pieces together here, and then on the other side of the tape, it's the sticky back stuff that's going to come off. So I'm going to put these 2 together, and then I'm going to actually cut a curve just using a mask base. Not the most scientific way to do this, but hey, it'll work. So let's put that down there. All right. So I've got my curves that are cut the same on each end. I'm just going to mark all that B for vowel on both pieces of tape. I'll put those ones to the side for the moment. I'm going to peel off the backing and start sticking it down. Alright, that's the non-skid deck. What I've got for you now is installing these foot straps I've had made up onto my Mistral Garda. These are meant to represent the original Mistral foot straps, and I had a local person here in Australia make them for me. I had to go and source the red Velcro, and I had an old one that I actually sent to them to base it on. But here's what they made. They look absolutely fantastic. Just like the originals, except without the Mistral logo on it. There's the inner piece there. And these things are all ready to go. I've just got to remember when I put them on to put the the Velcro on the centerpiece here on the inside, not on the outside, because they wrap around like that. So I'm going to put these on now. I'm using on the Garda. I'm actually using screws. These are 10 Gs, kind of like an M5 thread, and I'm using a little metric 5 millimeter washer on it as well. And so these are just going to go on. I might put a little dab of silicone just in the holes. I'll kind of see how I feel about that as I go along. But yeah, I'll get started. So here we are at the end of today's work. I've got the foot straps on the Garda and also the non-skid. It's come up really good. A little bit of trouble getting the foot straps on just because they're brand new. Not in screwing them on, that was all fine. Just pulling the covers over the top there. So I got better as I went, to be honest. These ones at the front I did last. The ones at the back, a little bit rough, so I've got to redo those. The non-skid is sitting on really nicely. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see it. It'll be great to get it out and see how it goes. But you know, this board has come a long way from where it started, and I think I've really only got about one more thing to do, and that is the mast track. So what you can see here is it's got one of these you know, metal inserts that you can screw a modern mast base on. But I'm going to put the original Mistral quick release system onto it. All my other boards, the Malibu, the Competition and the Maui, they've all got that system. All the first generation one, which I know people aren't necessarily huge fans of, but I like to be consistent and I do want it to be old school. So I'm going to put that on this board. You know, what I'll probably do is leave leave that piece in there, but I'll get the rope system going again. I'm actually in Australia right now, and I'm going back to the US in a week, and I've got a couple of mast tracks waiting over there for me that I'll bring back and put them in. So that'll probably be the final video. There really is nothing else to do to this thing. Oh, there is, I've got to put the nose rubber on it, which I also managed to source in the United States. So I'll be bringing that back, and I might do that one at the same time and put a fin on it. So maybe one more video to go, and she's done. So I'm very pleased with this. Footstraps look sensational. I'm liking the fact that this non-skid stuff is not taking away from the look of the board too much, and it's not adding any weight or anything like that. Not that that's a problem with this board. It's a big old board, and it's pretty heavy anyway. But it'll be fun to get it out on the water. Till next time.